Oh.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you
Guruji.
all hear me?
This Akash Kaushik from Delhi.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's not more often, but when I sit in meditation after like 15-20 minutes, I'm not sure about the time. It's particularly different every time. I feel like I'm in space. I would not use the word space. Rather than that, I would say I'm in vacuum. I cannot feel anything. I cannot sense anything. Is that me? Like me?
Yes, that's what you are, Mr. Gautam. Kaushik, Mr. Kaushik, you said. And that's what you are. You are aware. You'll always be aware that you are aware.
Plus, I just don't want to know me. I want to know like everything about the universe. How do I do that?
You want to know what about what?
Everything.
I just talked to you about that. What is there to know about? There's no universe there here. You have to understand it. What is here is uh, a ghost image all around you. What you are seeing all around you, what you are experiencing all around you, is only a ghost entity. Is this nothing? I'll give a hint. You must have been a student of science. You go out of your house, you look at the sky, you see so many stars. Okay? The entire night sky is filled up with stars. Now, each star must be billions and millions, at least millions of kilometers away. That means the nearest star to us, we call it Alpha Centauri, is around 4.3 light years away. 4.3 light years away. That means the light is reaching your eyes as the star existed 4.3 years ago, more than 4 years ago. If that star, the Alpha Centauri, if it has to break up into two pieces, we will not come to know till the next 4 years. Okay? That means the star which we are seeing, the Alpha Centauri, through our telescopes, we are seeing it as it existed more than 4 years ago, right? As it existed more than 4 years ago. Whether that star is still there or not, we don't know. So what we are looking at right now is only a ghost image of the star as it traveled through space and time and reached the eyes of Mr. Kaushik. Now, similarly, you have so many other star systems built up in the entire night sky. Some are millions of years away, some are several thousands of light years away. Whether those stars exist as of now or they don't exist, you will not even come to know for the next 1,000 years or a million years. So, as of now be in the present moment. As far as Mr. Kaushik is concerned, as of now, when I say now, at this moment, isn't all the stars which you are watching, aren't they ghost images? They are like
Yes, yes.
ghost images. As far as I'm not saying this. Your own science is saying that. Modern science is saying that. Physics is saying this. What you are looking at is only the ghost image. Because science is saying only that much. We don't know what is the reality behind it. That's all the science will say. Because behind all these ghost images, cut this clutter, cut this ghost experience of yours all around you, whether it is cosmos, whether it is starlight, whether it is planets, whether it is whatever it is outside you, cut this clutter. Beyond all this, what is there is Mr. Kaushik. And that awareness which you said isn't the awareness I'm experiencing. Yes, that is awareness you are experiencing. That's what you are.
Okay,
And
does
you will
that
always be
mean,
there. You will always be there. You have always been there, and your that awareness of yours about you, it has always been there, and it will always be there. It's not going anywhere. If that be the case, other than you, there's nothing else. It is all a ghost experience. So, what is that you want to know then about the cosmos, about the universe you are referring to? Just because someone has painted a ghost picture, so you start admitting that that is the way about the universe. That is to say, let me give you more clarity on this. 2000 years ago, there used to be a gentleman named Mr. Kaushik, let's say, who lived. I'm sure your name must there must someone else must have had your name at the time also, 2000 years ago. He has been told about the universe in a different way. He has been told the earth is flat, earth rotates around the sun. Sorry, or the sun rotates around the earth, like that. Come ahead another by another 1,000 or 1,200 years ahead, or 1,500 years approximately. That means about 6 to 700 years from now. During the time of Copernicus, he figured out that Earth is in fact rotating around the sun, not the other way around. And I think he was born to death also, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure about it, about the historical facts. So that time, Mr. Kaushik, another person, Mr. Kaushik, who lived at that time, he was taught a different word. Come down to the age of Galileo, when he started observing the planetary movements and all that. So another Mr. Same Kaushik, who lived at that time, he was taught that this universe is like this. Now come to the time of Sir Isaac Newton. There was another young man like you, Mr. Kaushik, who was told that the universe is like is a mechanical model. The world is made up of all Newtonian laws. And then come to the time of theory of relativity and quantum mechanics. Now you all know that we are living in a world of mathematics. We all know that we are living in a world of mathematics. Our minds have been conditioned to think that we are living in a world of mathematics. So now my question is, who is the culprit now? Who is the culprit who had misled the humanity for 2000 years? No one has
it
a
was
help.
society?
It is they themselves got misled themselves. Who told them to blindly follow the science? Science has never been the same. For 2000 years, people have been making a fool of the mankind by saying, don't follow religion blindly, follow science. Now I am now pointing it out. People have made a fool of themselves by following science blindly, other way around. Because the science itself, it was never same. Science was never constant. 2000 years it was different. 1500 years back it was different. 300 years back it was different. 100 years back it was different. 20, 30 years back it was different. And it will not be the same 20, 30 years from now. Is there any guarantee that it is going to be said? Therefore, how can you blindly follow science? Following science blindly is superstition. Following science blindly is superstition and foolishness because science is not constant. Unfortunately, it's the reverse has been told to us. For 2000 years, the reverse has been said. People have been told, don't follow religion, don't follow philosophy blindly, don't be superstitious. Actually, it is the other way around. They were the people who are the superstitious and who are foolish. People who are following science. Now, who is to be blamed here? That's the problem. I hope you got your answer now.
Yes.
So, why do you want to know about the
What
universe? Because the universe is not constant. What we know about the universe is never going to be the same from the point of modern science. So, therefore, I can only explain you what you are, your structure, which I did it earlier, a little while ago. As I said, that the spirit at the core of you is enveloped by 5 layers. And if you will break down those 5 layers, if you want to follow the Kashmir Shaivism, the entire human body has been constructed with 36 tattvas, 36 properties, 36 structural laws. Call them structural laws. If you want to follow the Sankhya philosophy, the human body is constructed with 24 tattvas or 24 structural laws. If you want to follow Vedanta, if you follow Vedanta, we are living in a world of ghost images all around us. You see? Or if you want to know what is it for yourself, that there's nothing other than you, then you follow Ashtanga Yoga. So there is no universe as such for you to know here. There is nothing known as any universe for you to know here. It is only a mist around you. It is a ghost image around you. Or if you want to know it in a particular way, yes, you can know it. But that is also another ghost explanation of it.
and suppose if I know what awareness is, suppose if I have experienced it, I'm not sure if that was awareness or not. Does that mean I am
See, what
enlightened?
I'll give you a hint here. What happened here is, let's say, whatever you are at the core of your body, whatever you are at the core of your body, what happened to yourself? You landed up as a Mr. Kaushik. You are living in Delhi or what? Where are you calling from?
Really?
Delhi? Okay. You landed up as Mr. Kaushik in Delhi, right? And the core of you, what you are, you are called a gentleman called Shiva. You are a gentleman called Shiva at the core of you yourself. Now landed up as Mr. Kaushik in a city of Delhi in India. Now this is also a supposition. Why you are called Mr. Kaushik? Because your parents have named you. Why I am saying that you are Mr. Shiva at the core of you, the gentleman called Mr. Shiva, because Kashmir Shaivism has named him like that. Now, if you want me to speak from the point of Vaishnavites, I will say you are Mr. Vishnu. Or if you want me to tell from the point of energy worshippers or the philosophy of Shaktism, I will say you are actually some cosmic power at the core of yourself. Okay? Okay, now listen from the point of Kashmir Shaivism. Let us see how the gentleman called Shiva has become manifested as Mr. Kaushik in Delhi. I'll give you a quick rundown, a small brief. Probably you'll get that insight. In the beginning, in the cosmos, when there was absolute void, there was only Mr. Shiva, the gentleman called Shiva. He is called Shiva because we are calling him. Otherwise, he has got no name and he has got no form. Or neither he has got any gender. Absolute static aspect of himself. Absolute consciousness, which you're talking about a little while ago. You're saying that my awareness, am I that? I'm answering that only. Absolutely conscious entity, but static entity. He can't move. Along with him, there was something else which you need to understand. That is called Nada Tattva, the sound in incomplete with an incomplete loop, in incompleted motion. The initial vibration in the cosmos, that initial vibration in the initial cosmos loop, rather, we call it as a sonic boom or a sonic vibration that is there along with him, along with this static aspect of him, which we call it as Shiva Tattva, for lack of a better word, call it Shiva Tattva, because the gentleman was called Shiva, so we call it a Shiva Tattva. And then along with him is the Nada Tattva. Nad means to move. Nad means to move. So there was just an initial movement there, and the movement is not yet completed also. So this is what existed. Everything before everything. This is the substratum of the cosmos. Then came the static aspect, became dynamic aspect, which we call it as Shakti Tattva. Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva. What happened to the sound now? The sound was in the Nada Tattva. It has now become Bindu Tattva. Nada Tattva, Bindu Tattva. Means the motion is now completed its circle now. The initial vibration, it has completed its loop, because of which it has now become a point. Because the circle has been completed, it has now become a point. We call it as Bindu Tattva, or the sonic boom, micro sonic boom, the initial motion of the sound, which I think modern science is now trying to figure out, is trying to speculate, saying that all matter in the universe must be made of that initial motion. If you call it a string theory, it is like a string only, no? The Nada Tattva and the Shit and this Bindu Tattva. The motion, the initial motion in the absolute void, and it is now ending up in a loop. the motion is ending up in a loop. So Nada Tattva and Bindu Tattva together they perform the initial micro boom, sonic boom. Now you have Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva. They are like two sides of the same coin. Now the coin has now manifested as a sound body, which we are now referring to that Mr. Shiva is no longer Mr. Shiva now. He is Mr. Sound, call him as Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma. The Shiva Tattva now has become Shabda Brahma now, sound god. Now the sound god, he wants to now manifest as Mr. Kaushik in Delhi now. If he has to manifest as Mr. Kaushik in Delhi, he has to now start his descent. Because he has got all the power, absolute power, is the only existence. Without the Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva, there's nothing else exists there. It is absolutely void. How will he is now going to descend? For the descent to take place, he is the gentleman called Mr. Shiva is making use of a medium known as sound. That is called as Shabda Brahma. Now comes the next act. The desire to manifest, the knowledge to manifest, and the action which he has to undertake to manifest. The desire to manifest, the knowledge to manifest as Mr. Kaushik, and now the action which he needs to take. Now these three tattvas, we call it as in a sequence, Sadashiva Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Shuddha Vidya Tattva. Don't go by the complicated Sanskrit names. You just understand this much, that initial vibration of this sound, along with the point which it has formed, the loop has now completed, or the initial loop of this sound body, it is acquired three poles. It got polarized into three things in a triangular form. It got polarized into three forms: action, desire, and the knowledge. These three things together, we refer it to as Kamakala in Sanskrit. Call it as the great dot, or the Bindu, Mahabindu they call it, Parabindu they call it. They refer it to as Kamakala. This Kamakala is like the cosmic egg about to burst. The entire design, how the universe has to be manufactured later on, how the gentleman Shiva, the Lord called as Shiva, has to manifest as Mr. Kaushik in Delhi. The entire knowledge is contained in that Kamakala, that dot, with the three poles. However, here the problem is, now go back to those five things which we just to recapitulate. We have the Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, right? That is Nada Tattva, Bindu Tattva, or the male and the female. There are two things here. Now these two things, the male and the female, are the Shiva and the Shakti, are Nada Tattva and Bindu Tattva. They are now becoming these three, polarized into these three poles of a triangle called as Kamakala. As a result, there are two things which are meshed like this. Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva are now meshed like this. Two triangles are meshed like this. Why we are saying two triangles? Because there are three poles here. It's got the Kamakala is polarized into three things. If you take the female version of it, it is like an inverted triangle, right? When it is an inverted triangle, we refer it to as the female version because of its semblance with the female genital organ. The female genital organ, it is in the inverted triangle form. It is impregnated with the male genital organ, which is in the upright triangle. So there are two triangles which are meshed like this, interlaced. I think we call it usually in other cultures, they call it as the Star of David or something in Christian literature. Am I right, Mr. David?
It could be,
Is
yeah.
Mr. David on?
It could be,
In
yeah.
Christian literature, we have the concept of the Star of David or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the same thing. I think it is all there in other cultures as well as Hebrews and other cultures also it is there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this interlaced triangles, the upright triangle and the inverted triangle, is what you're referring to as the Kamakala, which is about to, it's like the cosmic design of the cosmos. So now we have Mr. Kaushik. Are you listening?
Yes,
Now these five tattvas have been formed. The gentleman, the universal God, universal soul, has now descent. He has made it about to burst upon the world and about to descend into the level of Mr. Kaushik now. It has not yet taken place. Now he is omnipotent. He is omnipresent. He is what do you call? He has the full all-knowing. He has got all the knowledge. Now this gentleman has to be restricted now. This infinite abilities have to get restricted. He has to put a restrictions upon himself, limitations upon himself. So he is using a power, the gentleman called, now he is no longer the one single gentleman. He is a mixed with Shiva and Shakti both, the female and male both, half male, half female. That's what we generally refer to Shiva also. No? He is half male, half female. He's together. He is not in alone now. He is now spinning a power around himself, known as illusion now, which is called as Maya Tattva. Okay. Now, what are the derivatives of this illusion? There are five of them. It's very easy to this thing. You don't need to get carried away by the Sanskrit words and all that. These five limitations around the infinite soul, they are referred to as kanchukas in Sanskrit language. Otherwise, what are these limitations? With respect to one is with respect to space. Like initially, Shiva thinks that he is infinite. He is infinite. There are no limitations, physical limitations for him. He is infinitely vast. Now that got restricted now into a finite being now. This is with respect to the limitations imposed with respect to the space, the experience of space. You are no longer that omnipotent or the infinite power. You got a limited power now. The power is limited. You are not infinitely vast. You are limited now, and the ability, your knowledge, it is not infinitely vast. You are now limited. So, with respect to your knowledge, with respect to space, and also with respect to time, the idea of time, like Shiva has got no sense of time. He is eternal. Shiva is always there for eternity. But when he has to descend to the level of Mr. Kaushik in Delhi, he needs to have that sense of time here. So that constraint pertaining to the time is also now imposed on him. So, like this, these five limitations have been imposed on the infinite soul. Now, total there are 11 now so far. If you remember, if you count from the top, initially we discussed about the five Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, and then the Kamakala, five. Then you have Maya Tattva surrounding this Kamakala, that is sixth one. Maya Tattva means the illusion which is now surrounding this triangle. And then you have the five structural laws imposed on you. Five structural laws are the limitations imposed on the infinite soul. Means Shiva himself, the infinite soul, universal soul, is imposing these restrictions upon himself for him to descend in order to become Mr. Kaushik sitting in Delhi now. So now there are total of 11 of them. And beyond this 11, you have got 25 more, which are now as per Sankhya philosophy. One is called Purusha Tattva and another is called Prakriti Tattva. Now, what is this? Purusha Tattva and Prakriti Tattva. Purusha Tattva is that soul and then the nature around him. The individual soul and the nature which is now needs to experience. The soul is impregnating the nature. Like Mr. Kaushik is the soul at heart. He has to experience an illusionary nature around him with a body of flesh and blood and the city of Delhi around him. If he has to experience this nature around him, the soul has to impregnate this nature. So these two, they are like two sides of the same coin. They manifest first after this. Up to this, you have the clarity. With this, now you have the first layer now spun around you. You are now we called as the casual body or the seed body, surrounded by a layer of bliss now. If you have understood it so far, rest I have already explained to you people earlier. After this now comes intellect, egoism, mind, and the five physical senses. Over this now. That rest, I'm sure you will be able to easily comprehend it. So that's how the infinite spirit which you are at your heart, you yourself have descended, made the descent and manifested as Mr. Kaushik now. And while doing so, you have been meshed with two things together. Soul is there constantly, whether with Mr. Kaushik or with Mr. Shiva. The static aspect is constant. What is changing is the dynamic aspect. The Shakti Tattva or the primordial sound, which we refer to as the Om, that has made the descent. From the initial unmanifested state, it has started making the descent. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari. When I'm saying these four different states of the sound is becoming manifest. First, it is unmanifested state, and then it is about to willing to manifest. Just now, a little while ago, I mentioned you are Mr. Soul along with Miss Nature. Mr. Soul along with Miss Nature. You are together like the two sides of the same coin. At this stage, the sound is about to burst upon the cosmos now, on the world. That means there is a sonic model of the universe, which is now making the descent along with Mr. Shiva, who is making the descent as Mr. Individual Soul. So the universal soul is making the descent to become an individual soul. As he makes the descent, the sound, the primordial sound Om, is also now making the descent into a sensible form, which we call it as Madhyama state, wherein it is broken down, that sound is broken down into 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, which we call it as seed mantras. So, these 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, they are like cosmic codes. They are not language. You may want to use it, make use of it as a language if you wish, but they are like cosmic codes. They are like cosmic sound bodies. And these 50 letters of this Sanskrit language, when their frequencies resonate, the resonating thing is what we are calling it as the cosmos. Your five physical elements, your mind, intellect, whatever you are experiencing through your organs of five senses, is basically the resonating or the resonance of the frequency of these 50 sound bodies. And you all must be aware how these letters are distributed along the cerebrospinal system in various chakras, right? There are 7 chakras along the cerebrospinal system. If you take the first 5 chakras, all the 5 chakras represent 5 different physical elements, 5 different sense organs, 5 organs of action. So you see, you have 5 physical elements, 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action. Your mind is experiencing the world around you through the senses, and also simultaneously, what do you call, performing actions also. They're all meshed together, if you see. Just to give you the insight, the cerebrospinal system is the, you can say that is the basic design. It's a kind of a psychic design at the core of the human body. And all these 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet are distributed along these various chakras. 6 chakras, 5 are sense organs, 6th one is the intellect. And they are having resonating as the universe. Just to give you a hint, see if you can catch on it, otherwise the video will become too long. Okay. Let's say at the navel chakra, at the Manipura chakra, you have that solar plexus, we call it in English. It represents the fire element. That fire element is represented by the mantra, seed mantra, Ram. And it also is linked with your legs. That means when you walk, this chakra, solar plexus is getting activated. And as far as your sense organ is concerned, it is linked with your eyes. Okay? And what is happening here? When you are walking is the basic fundamental movement made by a human being. I repeat again, walking is must be the one of the fundamental movement of the human body. Just like if you take an insect, crawling is the fundamental movement of an insect. Similarly, walking on 2 legs is the fundamental movement for a human being. When that motion is made, earlier 20-30 years ago, we all thought, oh, nothing, the muscles will get strengthened up, you will have a better weight management of the weight, you will be hale and healthy. We all advise people, okay, go for a walk morning and evening every day. But today, now the modern science is saying, what happens when you start walking? There is a cocktail of chemicals which are released inside your nervous system. It is giving release to all various neurochemicals inside your nervous system, which we call it as endorphin, serotonin, dopamine, all that, which are now impacting on your psychological mood. So you see how your one action of walking, simple innocent action of walking on the legs, is impacting your psychology, your mind. This is the hint I wanted to give you. That's what I wanted to tell you. We are living in a model of sonic model. We are not living in a mathematical model. Everything is a resonating effect of the something which is beyond. So if you want to understand it from Kashmiri Shaivism point of view, this is how the universe is. And again, everything is ghost in nature. The experience itself is a ghost experience in nature. What is the truth? What you are at the core. You made the descent. You have chosen to become like Mr. Kaushik. and experiencing something around you, which is a ghost experience. And the mechanism I try to just tell you, because I can't go into the details because the video will become too long otherwise. I hope you got that hint which I am trying to convey. Everything you are experiencing is a psychedelic projection of what your karma is there inside you. And that is being projected through your senses, and you are being made to experience it. Without the release of that neurochemicals, and how will the neurochemicals are being released? Because of this microelectric signals in your neurons. I am not saying this. Your science is only saying, your neuroscience is only saying this. And what is that triggering that electric signals in the neurons, nerve cells? People are now talking about some micro signals. Who knows, some micro signals may be causing that generation of the electrical signals in the nerve cells. And since the two nerve cells, they are not connected, they are only linked by a link known as synapse. The electric signal is jumping into the next neuron by releasing these chemicals, neurochemicals, what you are trying to say, or the neurochemistry. So, if you go and want to understand it in this fashion, there is no end to this. You can understand it. But it is of no use to you. All this knowledge is of no use to you because it is basically it's all a ghost experience. It is just a ghost experience. Many people they don't want to. They have the issues when it comes to when they want to practice spiritualism. They are carried away by what they heard, what they read, what they various philosophies, doctrines. They think that this world is something. What Guruji is telling something different and all that. If you get carried away, then you will not make any headway. You will not progress. I hope you got the general insight, Mr. Akash.
Yes, got it.
We'll dive more deep into it later on. Okay, As it is not possible for me to make you wise or in one video session like this. So what we do is we stick to our specific questions if anyone has. So I will try to demystify each subject bit by bit. Then what will happen is later on you all can piece them together, and you will be able to process the information better and reflect on what I have told you. Then you will get the big picture. Without the big picture in the mind, you will get carried away. You will not have the clarity on anything. But then it takes a lot of patience on your part. If at all you want it, if you want it, again I'm saying all this is not required for you. All this knowledge is not required at all for you. Focus on your sadhan. Burn that karma which you are talking about. That is the culprit, which is hiding that bliss for you. The bliss is being hidden from you. And who is the culprit? The karma which you accumulated. So you burn it down, you neutralize it, the game is over. But all this understanding which you wanted to understand is for your intellectual amusement, rather, out of your intellectual curiosity. It is of no use for you otherwise. Okay? Yeah, that's what I wanted to say this much. And the only way out to burn the karma is through the medium of your guru. There's no other way out because the society has been ordained that way. Just like you want to get treatment from your disease, you have to approach a doctor. Otherwise, self-treatment, how dangerous it can be. That's it. Remember it all the time. God has laid down certain, ordained the society to survive or sustain itself in a specific way. Otherwise, God wants it. God could have created the human society, and human beings don't have to eat bread. Human beings don't have to eat rice. Human beings don't have to eat anything else. They can survive like plants and trees. They could have manufactured food directly from the sunlight. They could have bypassed the entire food chain, right? But God said no. Only plants will manufacture food from the sunlight. Plants will be eaten by herbivore animals. Herbivores will be eaten by carnivores. And human being, if he wants, he can eat both plants as well as the herbivores. So you see, God has manufactured a human body in a particular way. God, if you want, a human being also can manufacture the food directly from the sunlight. The process of photosynthesis, it can be affected directly on the human body. And as you also know it, human beings also manufacture vitamin D in their skin when it is exposed to the sunlight. So what secret it is there in this? If a yogi wants to manufacture food directly from the sunlight, he can do so. But then God has not designed the human body that way. Same is the case here also. If he has to free himself from the karma, the only way out is through the medium of a gentleman called Guru. Focus on that. And the game is over after that. Okay? Okay, Miss Tanishka ji, anything else?